Hello and welcome to WEF Weekly. It is week 2 of the big competitions here in the Wellington International once again. And we're building up to another fantastic week and reflecting on last week's Southern Arches Grand Prix as well. Another wonderful lineup of guests come to join me this week. And I'd like to say alongside me is Carly Anthony, who was second in our Southern Arches Grand Prix. Welcome to you.
Thank you for having me.
Ashlee Bond, winner of the Rolex Grand Prix last year, making your return here to Wellington.
Yes, finally.
Looking forward to it?
Very much so.
Michael Stone, President of the Wellington International Horse Show. You don't get to leave. Lovely to have you with us, and we're building up to another fantastic season here. Michael, we're going to start talking with you first because there have been a lot of changes that people will see, some of them quite obvious, some of them more subtle around the grounds here at the Wellington International. That's one of them, of course, last year, the rebranding of the site here. It's seen a lot of moves forward over the last 12 months.
Yeah, we've been working very hard. Our principal concern is the horses and the welfare of the horses. So we've built 3 new barns. We've put in new footing in rings 8 and 9. We've done a lot of work that you don't really see with drainage and stuff like that, so that the places don't flood. And because even though it's sunny, beautiful Florida, we do get the occasional rain, and when it comes, it really rains. So we've worked on things like that. Then for the public, we've given them more area to watch because we're now getting 7,000-8,000 people come on a Saturday night to watch. And because we had peak tents over the boxes, they couldn't see anything. So now we've taken down the peaks, made a flat roof, and now they can see. So when the big Grand Prix come, it's going to be really exciting for everybody.
Well, we're going to see some of those changes that have taken place around the grounds. As you say, you've almost started with the key parts from the back first, with the horse first.
Yeah, exactly. So people who just arrive probably won't notice very much because it's all for the horses, and it's not, the riders will know because they'll see it, and they'll feel it in the footing. But the general public, they won't really see it.
You just arrived back in town.
Yes.
Literally just walked back through the door.
Yes.
Already some subtle changes there.
Yeah, I noticed that there was fewer tents, so all the vendors were permanent, which made it much prettier, and the walkway was different, and it just felt a little more open and spacious. But I parked my car and then walked over here, so it's not really fair of me to judge.
You've got plenty of time.
Yes, I do, thankfully.
And Carly, for you, you've been busy on the grounds here for quite some time now. You've obviously noticed the changes.
Yeah, for me, I also feel that it's much cleaner. There's a fresh coat of paint on everything, and a fresh coat of paint changes everything. But they've done an incredible amount, not just for the horses, but for the people, like the vendors, and the VIP is absolutely lovely. They've done a fabulous job making that brighter, friendlier, cleaner, and I think all in all, the welfare of the horse definitely has shown through to come first, and all the protocols and how everything else has been managed this year has been top and of quality.
Michael, for you, you talked about the numbers on a Saturday night now, which is the big crowd nights here. Plus, we've got the field to come later on in the season with the big classes there. There've been so many changes during your tenure here.
Yeah, well,
it would almost be hard to sort of pick through what it looked when you started.
Yeah, well, this was a pretty grubby grass field that was virtually unjumpable after 3 weeks, and it ran for 8 weeks, I think, in those days. And so there's been a lot of changes, and with our new ownership group, we're committed to making more changes and to keep improving and to make it better for the riders, make it cleaner, try and do away with as many tents as we can, because tents are fine, but you really don't want your horse in a tent for 12 weeks. And increasingly people are staying off-site and just using the tent stalls to spell the horses in for a week or so here. So there's been a lot of changes.
We can see a few of those going on there from that point of view.
Oh, wow.
That's all in the off-season when everybody thinks that, nothing happens here during those. Probably your busiest time, isn't it?
It is now, yeah. It used to be. It used to be great. We'd probably have the summer off because we didn't do much. But now we're working full-time right through the summer to make it as good as we can.
No such luck anymore. No, it's looking forward to it, and I know we'll be talking to you a lot over the next weeks, months, and years of the plans here. And I know the sky's the limit. I think with the way it's looking at the moment. Yeah, looking forward to a lot of that. So there's a little of what's been going on. Ashlee, you can take a little tour of that later on, because your horse is going to be in that direction. In the meantime, we're going to talk about what happened last week. Southern Archers Grand Prix. And a very good Irish win, Michael, with Dara Kenny taking home the first.
I'm not sure how popular we are in Wellington anymore. The Irish seem to win probably more than their fair share.
They've done very well here. They're well established here. That was the point. Ashlee took the biggest Grand Prix of the season. Let's get the rivalry going now. Let's talk that, because the Southern Archers Grand Prix. We're going to take a look at Dara Kenny's winning round there from Saturday night as well. And it wasn't the easiest one to win, as many of the Grand Prix aren't here. Carly, you're obviously competing against him. You finished second in this. We'll come on to your round in just a moment. But the Grand Prix itself, this jump-off round, where do you think Dara was playing the game? He was the only double clear here, wasn't he?
He was, and he was first to go in the jump-off, so he had to be smart. He also knows his horse. He had to pick the track that suited him the best to yield the best result, and I thought he did just that, especially with fairly quick people coming up behind. And I think he laid down a fairly efficient jump off, but clear was the most important, because none of us could jump the jump off clear the other night. So he did just what he had to do, and it definitely paid off, and it was his birthday, so it was a nice little birthday surprise.
Yeah, exactly. Owner Teddy Vlock's birthday, taking home that one. It was a very good one for Dara and the whole team there. For you, finishing in second place there, we mentioned double clear. Well, let's take a look at your round for the Grand Prix here on Saturday night as well. It was great to have the crowds in here, all of it buzzing. How did that make you feel coming back into that?
I loved it. I think the horse Jet Blue thrives off that energy. He loves a great atmosphere. I had a very unlucky first rail, but I said, you know what, it's the first Saturday night under the lights, let's go for it anyway. And he just picked right up, and this is probably the fastest we've ever been together. So I'm really excited for the rest of the season. I thought this was a great start. I was really proud of how well he jumped, how well he rode, and handled all the pressure, all the atmosphere really well. So I was
And you built up as a nice partnership, and you had a nice win together here last year, finished well in some of the classes, and to start off like this, how does that help things?
It feels great, a great vote of confidence coming into week one like this. Builds nicely for the rest of season. I plan to go next week in the first 4-star and build from there. So feeling confident going forward.
Jet Blue, more at home on that Saturday night or over on the field?
I think first half of season will be more under the lights. I think we did pretty well, so we'll try to.
We'll take that one.
We'll try to keep building on that.
There was the first round we talked about. It was a double clear that won it. There were 6 of you that went clear in the first round. It was tough. Nick Granite did a great job in course designing there, but there was one line that was really proving the big test here, and that was coming from 8 to 9A and B and 10. We'll take a look at that. Let's take a look at this line that was so influential from that point of view. How does that then for you in the class translate if you're hearing that out in the warm-up? Oh, this is where they're really being caught out from that point of view.
So
this was your round.
Yeah, I didn't know if Nick's plan in the beginning of the week was to kind of make a few jumps in his earlier courses to see what he would put in for the Grand Prix, but in the 140 the first day, he put a Liverpool Oxer off the right turn, very similar to that, just a different jump, and all the horses were jumping it not great. It was quite challenging. Even at a 140, they were working quite hard. And so when I saw the same type of Oxer in the Grand Prix, I knew, okay, this is one jump that they might not jump the best. They're going to maybe land short. It's going to feel awkward and uncomfortable. So yes, this line is going to be.
Here it is. Talk us through it.
So luckily, I got to go at the end of the class, so I got to see everybody ride it. Some people did 6. You had to get 5, especially for the time allowed. It was quite tight, but they landed. You'll see, but Blue landed quite short after that Oxer and made a quick step, and I think that's where it was catching everybody off, off balance, out of rhythm, and it just kind of tried to mess up your rhythm. So I think people that were able to stay calm, even if it wasn't the perfect distance coming in, and kind of let them figure out those 2 tall verticals, they survived. But I was very lucky that I got to go at the end because I could watch all of the different variations of how they got that done, and decided, okay, 5's the right number for me. He's not going to jump that Oxer well. It's not going to feel good, but I anticipate that going forward, and we're just going to get it done, as best as we can.
Ashlee, do you prefer going early or late?
It doesn't really matter because it depends on your horse and how the track suits that, your animal. And I plan for that. I don't really focus on the other people. I try not to.
This is my plan and that's
it. I find it messes me up more when I'm like watching and then I'm like, ooh, that looked good. But then it's completely wrong for my horse. So it's better if I just do my thing, leave it alone.
It was a difficult line. We're going to see a few shots of it. Didn't work out for some down there, but again, that was how it worked out. For the overall stats on that, fence 8 fell 22% of the time, 9A and B, the double, 36% of the time that was dropping, so it was a big influence on the course, but it was pretty well spread out from that point of view.
Yeah.
But then they were able to get to 10 all right, because only 7% had that down.
Yeah, 10, if you managed to just get through the double, 10 was nice and flowing right after. But he had those verticals in the 150 on Sunday, and it was equally as hard. It was going the other direction. So a very similar line, just reversed, and it was challenging either way he jumped it that week. So he did a great job, I will say. I was very impressed with his course designing that week. He did a phenomenal job.
Absolutely. Looking forward to seeing. Nick's, of course, going to be building with us in different rings throughout the various parts of the Wellington International over the coming weeks as well. So with that all out of the way, in terms of seeing the big courses, the big competitions that we've got coming up, what's your thoughts now, having got that week out of the way? Do you take it a week at a time? Do you have a big plan for the season?
I think I make a plan for the horses for the whole season and hope to achieve all those goals as we go along, but I take it 1 week at a time and take it in stride, and if the plan seems to fall into place, we go from there. So like I said, next week we'll jump the 4-star. I have applied for the 5-star the week after. I have to get in. We'll see, and then we'll go from there.
Ashlee, for you, are you going for a little bit of a steadier start? But it's going to be like quite a few of the big guns coming in. Hit it hard then for the big 5-stars and Nations Cups.
Yeah, I think the season just doesn't really end anymore. So we were jumping Major League in the middle of December, so I felt like it was fair to kind of give the horses a month, and I kind of always take the first 3 weeks slowly here anyway. So, and like Harley said, I work backwards from my main goal of the year and then place each horse in the position that I want them to and jump certain shows. Donnie's just going to jump the 5-stars here is the plan, and then it's horses and anything can change and happen, so you kind of have your plan and then see what
advice would you give to someone coming here for the first time? We've got a lot of influx of new faces, quite a few Europeans coming as well. What would you say?
I would say pace yourself. It's really easy to overdo it because there's so many good classes and there's so many amazing FEI ranking points, and I think it's easy to overuse your horse, and then by the end when the money is even better and bigger and you kind of run out of horsepower. So for me, I like to ease into it and not overshow my horses, and be mindful of the fact that once we're done here, it's still just the beginning of the year, and hopefully you can continue.
It's nice to start though with a $500,000 Grand Prix behind you.
Yeah, that's always nice.
Especially if you win it,
Exactly.
But it's a new year, and that was last year, and that was great. But we'll see. I mean, the goal is to jump clear, obviously, in the 500, and peak my horse for that, and then give him a break, and then peak him for Nations Cups and Olympic qualifications, and so kind of ebb and flow.
Yeah, we'll talk Rolex in just a second. Michael, from your point of view, again, the last few years and the continued changes here, we've seen more and more of those big name riders joining in here. We've always had big names here, but even more. Daniel Doyce has now become a regular, those sort of group. Was that part of the strategy, or is that something that's come with the growth, and how do you feel about it?
Well, we're delighted to have them because it raises the standards. But it sort of happened organically as we started to improve the facility and improve the footing, improve the prize money. It's so much easier. I mean, Europeans now, if they're showing in Europe, they're getting into a truck on a Tuesday, take their horses to the show.
Yeah.
They get on the truck again on Sunday, they drive again, and the the weather in Europe is bad. So to come here to be able to stay in the one place for 3-4 months is obviously very attractive.
And it's winter there for some of them,
And
unless you're down in Spain.
Yeah, and even Spain it can be cold as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
And it's been a real step up in the levels, and I think we've probably a few more new faces coming in this season as well.
Yeah, they're people tend to come and go.
Yeah.
So Martin Fuchs
Yeah.
was here for a few years,
Yeah.
didn't come. He's coming back. There's quite a few like that, who just depending on their horsepower or their objectives.
Yeah.
Some of them want to qualify for the World Cup,
Yeah.
so they'll stay in Europe to qualify for the World Cup rather than come here.
And we've seen people like Henrik von Eckermann and all those guys coming in.
They come and
here.
go, so it's
Yeah.
it's great because it's great competition, but at the same time, we like when the riders who support us all the time. If everybody comes in, takes the money and goes again,
Yeah.
it's not so nice for the people who support us. So it's a double-edged sword. We like to have them, but also we like the
But
people,
It increases
like Harley
competition.
and Ashlee who are here all the time.
Yeah.
So we want them to get a share of the money as well.
But Ashlee, the thing is, with competition coming from all over, it has raised the bar here now to win here to a whole new level.
Yeah, 100%. I think for us as riders, we're always trying to be better, and to do that, it's fine to be competing against the same people all the time, and they're all very good. But it's nice to get new blood in and be tested, and new blood that's at the top of the sport as well, and see if we can also beat them. And
Who do you look forward to going up against?
I always look forward to going up against Martin.
Yeah.
I mean, Daniel's been here for a while, for the last 2 seasons, so we've been going up against him, and that's always super fun and a challenge. But yeah, Martin for sure. I don't know who else is here.
You'll find out.
Because I haven't been here.
You'll find out.
But I really think when you have McLean and Kent and all these people that are the fastest in the world, and you're used to going up against them,
Yeah.
it's just more of them.
And it raises everybody's game.
Yes,
That's the whole
it's
point.
more.
It's just more of them. So,
More.
it just makes you stay on your game,
Yeah.
which I appreciate.
Well, that's a perfect segue, because while you were on your game last year, you won the Rolex Grand Prix here. Let's take a little look at how you did that. And that was with a horse called Caroline of Bullmore. And changing your string,
Yes.
she's no longer with you.
No,
But
she's
you've got some exciting horses. But let's reminisce and go back to last year as well and talk about some of that. Because the horse you've got, you've literally ridden, 2-3 times in big classes? Not a lot.
Yes. I'd had her for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
I believe it was 5 or 6 weeks. And I'd done, I think this was like our 4th Grand Prix together,
Yeah.
but our first 5-star,
Yeah.
show. I mean, no, sorry. I did one 5-star week, and I did the WEF.
Yeah.
And we had the second to last jump down, but I didn't do the Grand Prix. But yeah, it was our first 5-star Grand Prix. So I definitely wasn't jumping it thinking I was gonna go clear. Donnie was just coming back from an abscess, so he wasn't in form. And I was like, what the heck? Might as well throw her in. Worst that can happen is I have some rails. And then as it's like going, she's jumping clear, and I mean, I'm just riding one jump at a time, but when I finished, I was like, oh my gosh, did I just jump clear? Then the jump off, okay, that was our first jump off
Yes.
together ever.
Yeah.
I actually did, it's a funny story, so Ludo Philipparts had her, and his kids rode her, and we were at Jim Brandon, and
Which is a venue just
yeah,
down
it's a
the road.
venue
Small
just down the road,
Yeah.
and just training. And he's like, it was my first time like jumping her in an arena that wasn't at home. And he's like, I jump around, and he goes, okay, now pretend you're jumping for like $500,000 and do a jump off. And I did, I like ran, and I just like super fast. And he was like, yeah, okay, that was really good. So that was my literally only jump off I had done where so I was like, okay, well, I mean, it went well there, so let's just do that. And I was fortunate that, Daniel didn't beat me, because, I think in the end, it wasn't like I laid down, I've laid down some rounds where I'm like, okay, that's like really almost unbeatable. You
Yeah.
feel it. And I was like, I got lucky.
Space.
I felt like I got a little lucky, so I'll take it.
The winner on the day is the winner on the
Winner
day.
on the day.
That's the point.
I'll take it.
Whether you beat Daniel Doyster or whoever it is. The winner on the day.
Yeah.
For you though, you've got an exciting horse in the string now at the moment.
I do. So Cora was sold, and then Hilla, Aurora Farms, who backs me, she stepped up and bought a gelding named Garfield, and it's in partnership with Hans Horn. And he is really special. I did him in the 5-Star Grand Prix actually the first week of Major League, and it was our first show together.
I saw it.
Actually my first show was on the grass. I took him, I trailered in, and we won the meter 35. And I was like, oh, I love the grass. And then I left, and he came there, and I was like, oh, I'll just, he jumped the qualifier good. Let's just do the Grand Prix. And he ended up a 12th. I had a cheap rail. It was my fault, but he was amazing. And then the next week, I used Donnie, but he was 6th in the meter 50, and he's really special. I'm very excited. He's the easiest horse I've ever ridden, and just careful, brave, all the things. Goes in no back boots. I mean, it couldn't get more simple. So I'm super excited. I think it's going to be good.
Michael, we're seeing those shots of over on the grass field there, and I know it's been a dream of yours that's been coming to reality to get that all to happen and look like it does over there.
Yeah, I've been wanting to do a big Grand Prix over there for almost since we started jumping on the grass, because it's a much more European feel, and it looks so nice. And luckily the footing is so good over there, the horses jump really well. Logistically, it's a big deal, especially for the Rolex, because we have to put up more tents, we have to get more people over there, and it's difficult to accommodate all the people from the international club, the VIPs, and they sometimes aren't so happy because they can't get the seat they had for here, so it's like a juggling act. But the main thing is that it shows the sport off in a fantastic way. Saturday nights do as well, but it's different, and I think we're showing the world that you can have both. And I think the riders like it. The only thing that we experienced last year was the heat.
Yeah.
Because it's the end of March, it does start to get warm here. So I think you remember, Ashlee, you were early to go, and the riders I don't think we had any clear rounds in the second half.
Yeah.
And I think some of that was due to the heat. I wouldn't say all of it, but some of it was
all
due
these
to the
factors.
heat.
Yeah. Sure. For you though, coming into that, now it creates those two venues that you've got. And again, actually going back to a little bit of what you were saying, if you're coming here ahead of a big year as well with championships, whether it's Europeans, whether it's Pan Ams, we've got a big run in this year with Pan Ams and Olympic qualifying. Michael, having those two venues for someone coming here, this is a great prep.
Yeah, absolutely, and it gives you the chance to find out whether your horse goes well on grass. If you want to go to Aachen, and he jumps on the grass well here, well, that's great. If he jumps terrible there, well, you might say, well, maybe I'll just skip Aachen this year, or Spruce, or wherever. And I mean, there's so many arenas with similar footing to here all over the world that's almost everything goes on it.
Carly, I know you said you're going to be looking to focus on over there as well as doing the big Saturday nights here, as many as you can. You really enjoy going over on the grass too.
I love the grass. Okay, I'm fortunate both of my horses also love the grass.
Yeah.
I've had great success over there, but I very much agree that I think it's great prep for after WEF ends, wherever your plan is, wherever you're planning to go. It's great to know if your horse does enjoy jumping on the grass. I think most of my summer season ended up on the grass the last 2 years, Lake Placid and Greenwich and the Hamptons prior to them changing to sand. So it's a very nice opportunity for you to get ready for the rest of your year here, and as well under the lights. I mean, that's a spectacular opportunity that you don't have in very many other places. But I absolutely love it. I enjoy showing on the grass. It's always, every week that it's on the grass is done very well. The courses are beautiful. The atmosphere is also great. Even though no Grand Prix are under the lights, it's always a great energy, and the horses really seem to like it. So I love it.
Last year's winner was Ben Mayer on the very experienced Tic Tac as well. We got some shots of that last year as well. That kicked off a big year for quite a few as well. But a great start for them to get into the groove. Here's Ben, ranked number 5 at the time, and again, Ashlee, being able to get out there early on, but I mean, you see Ben with this horse now. I mean, Tic Tac's what, 18 years, well, 19 years of
He
age
was
now?
18
Yeah,
there.
19 years of age now, but
Yeah.
18 when he was there, just loving it out there.
Yeah, you know, I just find that the horses thrive on that footing, and the grass has been, not just with the Rolex, but very, very kind to me and my horses, and they really thrive there. And you know, I did go to Aachen and did jump Caroline in the Aachen Grand Prix, and I only felt comfortable doing that because she did so well on the grass field there. So, you know, it does really set you up for jumping at any venue, in any environment, under the lights, in the day. You get to jump Grand Prix here, you get the grass. I mean, there is no place better for the winter.
And we get a few indicators about mid-season, about, you know, who's going on the grass, who might well go in the Rolex. Not,
Yeah.
You know, start to get your bets off.
Yeah, and you can really run on the grass, you know, like it's just such a big, awesome field, and the footing is so, you guys do such a wonderful job. You know, I find that grass is really temperamental, but you guys have it down, and the horses just really jump well off of it.
Well, we've got lots to look forward to this week. Carly as well, there's going to be a national Grand Prix under the lights this week as well. But I mean, that last year gave a great opportunity for a lot of combinations to get under the lights that don't usually, that, you know, bring some new combinations through.
I 100% agree. I thought, you know, also pre-season they had a few national Grand Prix under the lights, and for those of us that aren't quite ready to step in pre-season to jump under the lights, the fact that there's an opportunity this week to do that is spectacular. Or for older horses or younger riders, I think it's a phenomenal opportunity that is provided.
So a little recap, you're going to be aiming at the grass for next week?
No,
The
the
next
4
few
starts
weeks,
here.
week 4.
But week 6,
Yeah.
I'm for sure signing up for week 6.
Okay, week 6 we're going to see you over there. Ashlee, what's the plan? Next few weeks you're going to be coming in slowly and getting ready for those big 5 stars?
Yeah, I'm competing every week. I do just one this week, but not for the Grand Prix. But then I have at least 2 showing every week. I just alternate, so I have like 5 right now that can all do FEI. So.
Michael, you've hung up your riding boots these days, but
Yeah.
you're going to be busy.
Yeah, I'll be busy, for sure. Whether it's over there or over here, it doesn't really matter. But we all like going over the grass. It's peaceful over there. There's something zen about the place. When you go over there, you feel,
Yeah.
So true.
and when you come over here, it's sort of industrial and busy, and it's exciting.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's nice to have a chill week.
Absolutely. We're looking forward to all of that. It's all going to be on the agenda. So we've got a bit of everything for you this week. Thank you very much to Michael, to Ashlee, and to Carly. Well done last week.
Thank you. Thank you.
Look forward to a good season. And good luck.
Thank you.
Lots coming up onto week 2. We've got that Florida Coast Equipment Grand Prix that's going to be coming up with the 3-star that's going to be on the grass. That's going to be on Sunday, so this is all for your diary. Sunday, we've got Palm Beach Equine Clinic National Grand Prix on Saturday night as well. You can join us for that. I'll be in the commentary position for that too. And the MS U25 series kicking off as well here in Wellington. So it's all starting to ramp up. Remember, you can join in and you can follow the streaming as well, brought to you by Wellington International Realty, and thank you to them. Head to wellingtoninternational.com to watch it all, and we will be back later into the week to bring you National Grand Prix, U25s, 3-star Grand Prix, and that's just week 2 here at the Wellington International. See you soon.